Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course from New Earth One Network. This is designed exclusively for your higher self connection and embodiment. Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course. This is an introduction to ways that you, as light workers, can work with this new technology, really, activations that improve lives of so many on our planet. It is needed in this hour, and we are so pleased to bring Tamra Oviatt with Sacred Activations here to this course. Tamra, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you so much. I love being with you, Lauren. I'm so excited to do this with you today and everybody here. Thank you so much for the invite.
What we love about this is it really is a new earth business. It really is a way that those who have been doing the work, that those who would love to up their game, up level their game, help people in a huge way, are able to take this, what we're here to talk about today, and put it into their repertoire of offerings for their communities. And it's about sacred activations. So this is learning how to become a sacred activations practitioner. We're going to talk about that. But let's first give an overview of what sacred activations are. They came to you a few years back and they literally shifted your whole entire life. And the people who you work with have reported much of the same. So what are sacred activations?
Sacred activations is metaprogramming the human biocomputer. I have learned over the last couple of years. I mean, I knew it changed your subconscious programming, and I knew it kept working with you for days, weeks, even months. And then John C. Lilly have these books out about programming the human biocomputer. I went, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. He did it with LSD. I do it with source energy. And I've got goosebumps all over talking about this. I mean, it's at this energy that I was gifted in 2012 from Lord Metatron and Source Energy in the Roslin Chapel in Scotland. Is the most powerful thing I've ever seen. It totally, completely blows me away, even now, 10 years later, on what it does and how it changes people and how it continues to shift people. I mean, when you listen to sacred activations or do them, it continues to shift your energy field like a spiral up and expansion. And so all these things you were thinking about yesterday or last year are totally, completely gone and rewritten. It's intelligent software, and it keeps writing your software. And what I mean by that is we're like a computer, right? And on our computer, which is also connected to the internet, right? And on our computer, we have all these original software programs that we came in with, these past life programs, all these programs that we learned in young childhood and through media and just whatever way through our family and stuff that we learn these things, or even the towns we live in. What Sacred Activations does is rewrite those programs and give programs so that your subconscious mind that's running 95% of your life starts creating magic for you instead of frustration. So it's rewriting that software for you, and the software to rewrite itself and to reprogram you on a higher and higher vibrational scale where you can really achieve what you desire in life.
And so you've been doing this for some time, and
Yes.
how has it been received by the people? I mean, can you share some of the experiences of shifts that people have had?
It's funny. I was just talking to somebody the other day on a call, and she called in. She's all, I haven't talked to you in like 3 years. And oh my God, as my life changed, I am completely and totally different. She went on for like 5 minutes, and I haven't, it was seriously like 4 years since I'd talked to her. And it was so amazing to see how much she's grown. I've had people that had a stroke and were on a walker for a year and couldn't use their arm. The next day they were off the walker and they could use their arm. They're like 95% better. And just there's, I mean, there's cancers, there's all kinds of things that shift and clear, but even your basic life, people shift their lives where they're living in more happiness and joy. I mean, I'm living in Mexico, in Yucatan, Mexico, on the beach with the love of my life, an old relationship from 24 years ago that never would have made it 24 years ago. I pushed him away twice and I was totally in love with him, but I didn't feel like I deserved love at that time or somebody I was really in love with. So I shifted a lot and he came back into my life and we live here. It's like heaven on earth. It is heaven on earth for me. There's just so many different testimonials. There's over 1,000 practitioners now. I do practitioner training in Japan too. And I heard I was their #1 teacher through this company that I've been working with. I'm going on 3 years now, teaching in Japan. That's really exciting. All the teachers and practitioners report massive changes with their clients, with their students. It's like every day I'm receiving a testimony on how somebody's life changed for the better, relationships back together or new relationships forming, the perfect job or their business is going really well. I mean, this works in all areas of your life. It's not just one area of your life where this affects you. It's all areas of your life that continues to shift and to grow.
And I want to share personally as well, Tamra, when you and I met, we were just sharing, oh my God, how long ago was it when we met? It was like 2013,
Yeah.
maybe even 2012. And yeah, you helped me break through a lot of limiting belief systems. The sacred activations have literally helped transform my life as well. And it's just so different than what it was all those years ago. So I'm a
Yeah.
testimony to the sacred activations as well. And I just thank you so deeply for that. I attribute a lot of the shift to the activations that you gave and something very particular you really helped me through at that time. So thank you for that. It really is powerful work. And it's source energy. It is
Yes.
source energy that's doing the work. And maybe
Yeah.
it's our higher self, but we are connecting in to higher frequencies. So this is a practitioner's training course that we're talking about here. Let's go into the details of that because as it's a new earth business, people are going to learn how to change their own life with these activations, but also the lives of others. Can you detail what this course is about?
Yeah, absolutely. When I received the activations in 2012, I saw this energy spinning into the top of my head, and it was followed up by these golden seals. And I was told I was now crystalline and give these to others, and I was giving them to others, and I didn't see the golden seals go on. And I asked them about that, and they told me that was for people when you teach. So when you do the practitioner training, you receive these, what I call golden seals. And what they do is it allows you to do the programs and the activations. And the first practitioner training is full of sacred geometry activations. It activates your flower of life, your tree of life, your fruit of life, your Christ consciousness, your 18 strands of DNA. And all of this all by itself will usher in huge shifts that will continue to shift you and your clients instantly and will continue to expand. So during the training, you receive these seals that you can then use to help others to run these activations. And the first class has 30 activations in it. There's 26 standard activations that are included in the first class. And then there's an additional 4, depending on the group, is what you will receive live. And then you'll also be able to do those with people. It depends on the group of people I have on which ones come through. And it shifts your anger, it shifts your resentment, it shifts your blame. You know, it activates your ability to manifest very quickly and to stay strong and in your power to do that. It opens your heart. So many of us have closed hearts. It opens your heart to receive love and to give love and to, you know, really be able to be loved. I mean, like I was attesting at the beginning of this call, I couldn't be loved. I was married to someone I wasn't in love with, you know, and a guy I'm in love with, I pushed away. And so these activations helped me heal so I could actually be in a love relationship. And it absolutely shifts your world. It's held over a weekend. It's a 2-day training. And I offer this training for the replays from last time we did this so that you can pre-listen to the class and receive the seals and receive the learning. So that way, when you're on live with me, you'll be able to hear me. Plus, I'm always bringing in different information and updated information. So some of the information I covered in the last class will not be included in the live class. So it's important to listen to both because it's like getting 2 trainings in one. You know, you're pre-listening to one and then you're listening to me, and you're also working with other practitioners all over the world. You're able to go into small groups and work on each other and give each other the activations and get a lot of practice with them. And your life, even if you don't want to go out and do this with other people, if you want to shift yourself, this training is super duper fantastic for that. I mean, it will really help you shift your life and your power in order to create the life you want. And then if you want to work with others, you could do that too. But the cool thing about this is when you're shifting yourself with this, you're shifting it through the collective consciousness. So you're affecting hundreds of thousands of people, easy. And you're also affecting everyone around you. People around you start to treat you different and start to act different because everybody's a mirror for you. So I was teaching this, one of those ladies was in my class and she lived outside of London. And she's taken the same train, you know, for years and walked by through the same neighborhood for years. And after the training, her neighbor came up and started talking to her that she's seen for 6-7 years, and he never said a word to her. And he came up and started talking to her. And then on the train ride home, somebody offered her his seat, you know, and that had never happened with her before. So it's really amazing on how people shift on how they treat you.
Really very cool. And for those who are familiar with David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force, that really helps explain how this work, when we do this sort of work, one person meditating, he's said, can affect hundreds of thousands of people around the world. And that's what this is doing here too. So wonderful, really beautiful. So some of the foundations, maybe in just a moment, we can experience a sacred activation for those watching and listening to feel and experience it. But this is going to be, can you explain some of the foundation and basic activations that people will learn There's a whole variety of them, but are there any details on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will work on your family relationships. One of them is family constellations. And I was totally blown away. Well, from testimonials I've received, I was doing this activation with somebody and she was calling me about her psychic abilities, but I was told to run this activation for her. And 2 days later, her children that hadn't talked to her in 2 years got in contact with her. I have somebody else that hadn't seen their father in 20 years. He got in contact with her. You know, me, when I was given this activation, it was 2013. I remember exactly where I was sitting and I was told, run family constellations, run family constellations. It's like, oh, please, I've worked on my family for years. I'm fine. But when I would think about my stepsister, I could feel it in my body, right? So I ran this activation, and the next day I went to call my son and I accidentally called my stepsister and her voicemail came on. And I found myself leaving her an absolutely beautiful message and thanked her for all the work she was doing with my dad and stuff. And I hung up and I went, what was that? You know, I mean, it's so funny, but my relationships, you know, I'm talking about myself here, but my relationships with my family has never been better. And they all used to talk about me and judge me for being different. You know, I was the black sheep of the family. What was I doing? I was working for Satan because I was a healer, you know, and there was just all this bad talk about me. And now they all love me and they're all kind to me. And I hear this from, you know, so many people on how their relationships change. That's one activation. That's one. The first activation I ever received, and it's the first activation you will receive in this training, I received from Lord Metatron, and it is said to activate up to 18 strands of DNA. And, you know, most people say 12, they say we have 3 active, but to be on this planet at this time, you can't go beyond 18 strands of DNA. And that is like full on master. And it's not going to happen instantly. Again, you can't go like riding a horse through the mountains and that's all you know, and then be plucked off and be put in a spaceship and you're flying a spaceship, right? What would happen to your brain? Because I asked God, why can't we just do this? And so I saw this scene and I went, aha. So it's going to keep working with you and expanding you, and it's going to keep bringing you into your mastership. As you're ready, as you're going up that spiral, it will keep supporting you and open you up to more and more awareness. So, you know, the horse can now see a car and then see a plane and then see the spaceship. You know what I mean? So it's that evolutionary step that this supports you on. The Christ consciousness activation or the flower of life, they're the same thing. And that's also the 5th dimensional grid system around the planet. And that opens you up and connects you with that so that you can love yourself and love others a lot more. The tree of life is in sacred geometry, the tree of life. And I also call it the Moses codes because I received this activation from Moses, and Lord Metatron was there too. And I went up to the Akashic records and I'm like, who are you? And he's all, I'm Moses. I'm all, Moses who? So he gave me the tree of life activation. And I used to see this in people's energy fields. And when I was doing this activation, I saw it and I didn't even know what sacred geometry was at the time. So a friend of mine handed me a book and I saw the image. I went, oh my God, I'm doing this. So when I was receiving these activations, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew to do the energy, and I was a good steward. I was doing what I was told. And so, but I saw these people's energy fields shift and I saw them heal their lives and I saw them shift. And it just really blew me away. Fear of authority is one, you know, there's so many different activations in there that will shift your life. I'm trying to get to my list of activations that I include in this because I don't remember all of them, but inner child's one of them.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to heal your inner child and it's going to bring you into wholeness. It's the first class of the 30 activations took me about 1.5 years to receive. And it took me 1.5 years to receive because it was so powerful, and it took me that long to integrate. Well, things have shifted so much. I can teach you what took me 1.5 years in a weekend. So it's super powerful. I've never seen anything like it. You might be spinning during class, you might not, you might need to sleep. People sometimes report that their head hurts for a week, after receiving the activations. That's because your pineal gland and your pituitary gland are opening and adjusting. And it's nothing to be alarmed about. It happens, and it can happen. It doesn't always happen. Some people have a really easy time. Some people are in bed for 3 days after training. But when they are back, they are better than they ever have been. Because sometimes your body needs to adjust to the new energy levels that you're now bringing in.
Okay, well, I just want to mention that those activations are listed right here on this webpage, or wherever you're watching and listening to this course. Click through the link in the description box and you'll get to this page. It's a certification so that we can share this with others. So does it go over how people would set up a business or take this into the world and create a business?
No, this is all about the activations and how to do them. I have got the list in front of me, so let me continue here. Make your ego your amigo. I mean, a lot of people talk about getting rid of your ego, killing your ego. No, your ego is important and it's very much a part of you. It's about making your ego work with your desires so that it's helping you create what you desire. And really those things and those thoughts that come up in your thought all the time that stop you from doing things, it's not your ego, it's your subconscious belief systems. And with sacred activations, we're shifting out the subconscious belief systems. Victim, victimizer. Original light language. I was talking to someone, I was actually interviewing her the other day, and she now does all this light language. And she said it came in 2012. Well, that was one of my first activations I received. And original light language also helps bring you into your power, sacred power, collective church. Collective church, a lot of people and healers believe that they can't heal or everything belongs to the church. And so this clears that out so that you can actually make money, and you can also offer healing and receive it. Polar opposite activations, holy cow. This actually rewires your brain, your neuron lines. When we have this thought going and going and going, it like creates a river instead of a stream in your neuron lines. So when you do this activation, it's actually erasing that. It like goes like backwards, because I see it going this way and then it goes backwards. And we erase that neuron line so those thoughts stop continually going over and over and over again. And then we bring in new thoughts and a new program that replace it with positive thoughts. Spiritual ego release. There's a lot of people that are so in their ego, or they don't have enough of an ego where it really gets in their way. So spiritual ego release, just because we can witness miracles and we had something to do with it doesn't mean we're super cool or anything else like that. So that really helps your ego. Soulmate activation. Work for me. Soulmate activation, absolutely beautiful. Addiction redirection. I've seen a lot of people stop a lot of different drugs from addiction redirection. Planetary alignment. You know how a lot of people talk about Mercury retrograde and the planets are this or the planets are that. This lines that up for you so that you can just go with the flow. Absolutely amazing. Are you a martyr? How many people are martyrs? You know what I mean? So this clears out the need to be a martyr. Bleeding heart activation. I got this when I was on the Amazon River. I actually made myself ill because I was in so much sadness looking in the people's eyes. And then I was also always wanting to save the world. So what I was doing, I was giving away all my energy, and God told me, or source energy told me, how can you help people if you're giving away all of your energy? So this helps you really get in perspective. Super DNA turn on 4 more codon in your DNA. And Mizadek in his Flower of Life book talked about these children that were coming on in with 4 more codon turned on in their DNA, and they're 3,000 times less likely to get a disease or a sickness. So this activation turns on those codon. Mother Earth activation. I received this when I was in Italy, but I wasn't told to do it. And when I was in the forest in Scotland, a couple of months later, I was told now to run this. And when I did, I saw little fairies and stuff, and on those little red mushrooms, it was like really, really magical. And it really helps you connect to and love Mother Earth so much more. Mother Mary activation. And the reason this is called the Mother Mary activation is because she is the one who gave it to me. And this helps you love other people like your own child. Alchemy of the third dimension allows you to see the matrix we're in, and that we're truly just in a matrix. So it's, anger and resentment towards God. I mean, how many people have anger and resentment? This helps let go of that anger and resentment so that you can be in peace. Sacred power, it brings in your sacred power so that you can be in your power and be confident. Oh my God, timeline and parallel universe activation. Holy cow. This activation, brings, because see, there's no time, right? All of our past and future lives are ran right now, and same with all the multiple dimensions that we're living on. So what this does is, instead of you being scattered in all those different other timelines, it brings your energy all into the now, so that you can be in your power right here and now, instead of being so scattered in all those different lifetimes. So this class is packed full of information. I mean, and it helps you in so many different ways in your life to really be able to be who you are. It doesn't matter what other training you've done in the past. This is definitely something to add in to your toolbox, is what I say, is to help you help your clients. I've talked to people that have been practitioners for 8 years and they're off doing their own thing, or even 10 years. And they say they use the activations all the time with their clients. So it's definitely something you're going to want to learn, to help yourself and people around you.
Beautiful. Again, I really do love the way that it's set up. People can get started with it right away, again, by accessing the earlier class that's in recorded level now, and then
Yes.
join in that live class for that experience with you. So it's almost like they get prepped and prepared for that live interaction, so that they can bring questions if they have them. And it's like a polishing. And again, it's totally new what happens in that live online class. So that live online class is 2 days with you. And how long is that experience, both days?
It's 6 hours both days.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, and
hearing.
they get to ask questions. Absolutely. And then there'll also be practitioners in there that have done the class before. And there's usually a few teachers in assisting the class. So there's plenty of people in that have already had the experience and use it, that are there to assist you and help you through the class.
Wonderful. It sounds really good. And we have a 2 payment option for this course, so that it is easy for people to get started on it. We really hope that that helps if it's needed, because this is truly something that makes our world a better place. As we look out in the collective, we can see the importance of work like this, the connection from within to the heart, is very important. And if we do that, if we connect people to their heart and to their higher self, then we have done an excellent job. So we commend all who are out there working on this level. Yes, absolutely. So now would be a beautiful moment so that we could feel the energy of this for those who are not familiar with it. Can you lead us on a quick activation?
Absolutely. I want to do two for you. And there's one I missed, and it's so important to tell you about, is Life's Grid activation, Universal Life's Grid. This puts a protective shield around you because a lot of us healers are empaths and we're soaking up all of the energy of all the negative energy. This stops that from happening so that you are containing your own energy field and not taking on everybody else's stuff. Super duper important, and works really, really well. I was told to do anger and resentment with you because there's a lot of people holding anger right now. And I was also told to do the first activation with you that I ever received, which is called the Lord Metatron, and activating up to 18 strands of DNA. So I'm going to start with the Lord Metatron because that's going to help you let go of some of that anger too. And while I do this, I'm silent. You might feel spinning. You might not feel anything at all. But you'll just start to notice in a couple of days how much better and more grounded you feel and lighter. So again, I'm silent while I'm do this. So I invite you to close your eyes while you receive it, so that way you're not distracted by other things going on outside of you. I'm going to begin now. And I do connect to source energy, and you will also learn how to do this in class. And anything that brings you anger or frustration, just focus on that now. Are you angry at God? Who are you angry at? Think about that. Okay, just imagine that you can bring your energy into Mother Earth. And opening your eyes when you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I
Lauren, I'm so
truly, I hope that everyone really feels into that, and I know they did. So I just want to share very quickly the the first one, Lord Metatron. I did feel a pressure in this area, third eye area, but it released. And towards the end of it, I felt really tall, just very tall through all of that. And then the second one, anger and resentment. Wow, instantaneously a dissolvement, and then flashes of other reasons, maybe people, things that there could be anger or resentment around, was just replaced by incredible peace and a groundedness. And more will be revealed as we each carry this in our lives, in our experiences on our journey. But that is palpable. This work is palpable in the most subtle of ways. And for this, we're honored for you, Tamra, and this work. And we're honored to this
yeah,
connection to Source. It feels so good.
yeah, thank you. I'm so thankful that I get to bring this in and to help people shift their lives and to help the world shift. You know, I feel very honored that I was chosen to do this. And I know I could have said no, but they kept, yelling at me, and I finally listened.
And that's important, I think we could talk about, because those who are enjoying this can hear that call within themselves, right? And I
Yes,
wrote a note here, doing what you were told. Doing what you were told. We hear this from spiritual teachers left and right, up and down, is they're just following the prompts, following the instruction. Would you say that this work allows us to hear better, to tune
yes,
in better, so that we can follow the instruction?
absolutely. All of this work and this whole class is going to help your intuition beyond anything you've ever experienced before. I mean, even after the first three activations, um, clients that I couldn't help for over a year, I was able to get to the bottom of it within 20 minutes and totally change them. It really helps you line up with source energy and with your guides and angels, whoever's coming in to help you and teach you, where you can actually hear them or feel them or see them, or however you get that message. It really, really helps your ability to be of service to yourself and others. Yeah.
Would you say that those guides and angels are actually helping to accelerate this energy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're here to assist us. They're here to help. They're not to be looked at as gods. They're funny. They joke around. They don't feel like they're any better than us, and they're not. And that's important for us to realize, that there are brothers and sisters from other planets or other realms that are really here to assist us in the matrix. I mean, this is a video game, and we can change this, and things can happen instantly in this game and shift. We can instantly go into world peace, and we're getting so close. We are so close to this. The scale's going to tip, and all of a sudden, boom, we're going to have it. I mean, goosebumps from head to toe.
Yeah,
This is what drives me.
yeah. I think it's
This
most
is,
of us, yeah.
Yeah, this is what drives me. Not Lord, Archangel Michael came to me in Cornwall in 2014. And it's funny because I was walking around on Cornwall, the St. Michael's Mount out there. And I've been in so many castles and churches because I spent so much time in Europe and England. And I didn't want to go in the church. And I was walking around, I was coming out, and this guard said, "Wait a minute, you didn't go into the church." I went, "Yeah, okay, whatever." She goes, "No, you have to go in." She goes, "Go through this door." And she sends me through this back door that leads me right to the church, right? And I went in and I sat down, and Archangel Michael came to me and he told me I would see world peace in my lifetime. And I totally believe that. So when someone says, "Oh, we're not going to see that in our lifetime," it's like, wrong. You're wrong. You're not in the right vibration. You're not hearing this right. And I was listening to a mentor I used to listen to 20 years ago. I was listening to her the other day, and I was shocked she was saying that. Because that she's very powerful, and she's putting that belief in the collective consciousness. And I went, "What are you doing? Of course we're getting world peace, and we're getting it really soon." So it's important where you spend your time and who you listen to. It's so important, you guys. And mentors can get thrown off. They can get sucked into different collective consciousnesses that aren't serving you anymore. So make sure you pay attention to that. And if you see yourself caught up in that, move on, because you'll find a new mentor to listen to that will resonate with you better, and you'll be able to learn from.
Yeah, it's almost like we can, if we feel it in our body and it doesn't feel right, that's an indication to move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Instead of getting caught up in that vortex.
Yeah.
So I just would like to ask, when you were listening and tuning into your guides, your answer will help so many other people. What was that like for you? I mean, some of us in hindsight, we can tell when our guides are talking to us. But for you, what was that like for you to listen? And then if you didn't listen, what would happen?
Oh, that's a really good one. Because when you didn't listen, what would happen? That was me. God, what was it? 1980? I think it was. I was really young. And I had this boyfriend that had a motorcycle, and we were planning on going on a picnic. And I hear, "Don't get on the bike. Don't 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 get on the bike."
Over and over and over and over.
Over and over and over again. He shows up. I said, "I don't want to go on the bike. Let's take the truck." So we argued. And he says, "Come on, you can wear a helmet." Because you didn't have to wear a helmet in 1980.
Mhm.
So I said, "Okay." And I wore a helmet. See the scar?
Ah,
Inside it goes up to here. If I wasn't wearing a helmet, I'd be dead. We slid in some sand on a guardrail getting on the freeway, and I fell on the guardrail. You remember those metal guardrails they used to have? It broke the helmet,
wow.
and it shifted my life,
Mhm.
not for a good way, for a long time.
Yeah.
And, I've got other stories about not listening, and listening took me a long time too, because they kept telling me to be a healer. It was after my divorce, it was 26 years ago. And I was living a good life. I had a really good job. I was selling CNC machines in a total man's world. They started at $50,000. I was working with all these engineers. I was number one in the United States in sales. It was so much fun. And I bought this big house, and nanny had a car, kids had a nanny. And I kept hearing, "This isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be a healer," over and over and over again. And I finally started listening. And when I did, I fell in a big black hole
Mm.
because of all of my healer belief systems and all the things that I was taught, all my subconscious programmings about it. Because I didn't believe in healing. Although I healed my cat at 18. I was told to put my hands on her and pray. She was dying, and I did. And the next morning she was fine. but I stuffed that down. I didn't tell anybody about that, and so I started listening, and I listen a lot better now. I still sometimes argue, but not that much anymore.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's so important to listen, and we do have choices. But if we listen, our lives go so much easier, because at that time I got in that motorcycle accident, my life would have been so different if I hadn't done that at that time. Do I look back and have regrets? No. I'm so happy in my life. I am very, very happy. I really, really am. And I'm so happy for you, Lauren. You're living in Costa Rica. So excited for you.
I love it here. The energy is exquisite, and
Yeah,
it happened so quickly and so in the flow. And
yeah,
wow. And again, it's listening.
yeah,
And would you say that once you hear that voice, you can't unhear that voice? We get stronger at recognizing that
yeah.
voice.
Yes,
Mhm.
for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Once you have this connection, it's always with you and guiding you. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this course with the world. And we invite those watching and listening to check it out and consider it. Feel into your heart. If there's a resonance there, you'll know it, you'll feel it, and
Yes.
take this out to the world. We're making it a better place. We are. And so for that, we are forever grateful for each and every one of you. And so, Tamra, as we say goodbye, anything else you'd like to share about this course or these activations?
The course and the activations are life-changing. It's something you'll continue to always use with yourself and with your clients. And after you've done them once, can you do them again? Sure. Sometimes because you're a spiral, so you're receiving them on a different level. But it never comes back. It's changed. Once it's changed, it's changed. And then there's a different level to it. Some of them no, some of them yes. There's a different level where you'll go and how it will assist you. And I want you to remember that you're perfect just the way you are and who you are and as you are. And to stop judging yourself and to really love yourself and to remember to give yourself a hug. Hug yourself. So important. So important.
We are feeling uplifted from this introduction, and we are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Sending you lots and lots of love.